Hi, welcome to God's Healing Ministries. This evening we'll be going over a message entitled, Are We in a Commencement of WWIII? Okay, now this message is in connection to the series that I did a while ago, which is entitled Order Out of Chaos. So, what we're going to do here, my lovely wife here will read for us in the book of Maranatha, page 210, as we begin.
Okay. Last Friday morning, August 24th, 1906, just before I awoke, a very impressive scene was presented before me. I seemed to awake from sleep, but was not in my home. From the windows, I could behold a terrible conflagration. Great balls of fire were falling upon houses, and from these balls, fiery arrows were flying in every direction. It was impossible to check the fires that were kindled, and many places were being destroyed. The terror of the people was indescribable. Fearful sights of a supernatural character will soon be revealed in the heavens, in token of the power of miracle working demons. The spirit of devils will go forth to the kings of the earth and to the whole world to fasten them in deception and urge them on to unite with Satan in his last struggle against the government of heaven. By these agencies, rulers and subjects will be alike deceived. Persons will arise pretending to be Christ himself and claiming the title and worship which belong to the world's Redeemer. They will perform wonderful miracles of healing and will profess to have revelations from heaven, contradicting the testimony of the scriptures.
Amen. Okay, so what we're seeing here is that she describes destruction. She sees balls of fire destroying buildings and houses, and people are fearful and afraid and are terrorized. And then she describes those balls of fire. She describes them as fiery arrows, right? I believe those are missiles that she's seeing. She's seeing a scene of war, destruction.
Russia has introduced a new hypersonic intermediate-range ballistic missile called Oreshnik, which has broken the record for the fastest missile in the world. It is the fastest missile ever developed, achieving an incredible speed of Mach 10, making it extremely difficult to intercept. Previously, the title of the fastest missile belonged to the 3M-22 Zircon, also developed by Russia with a top speed of approximately Mach 9. Surprisingly, the Russian president announced the development of the Oreshnik after its reported combat use in Ukraine. What do we know so far about the specifications of this new missile, and what does its development indicate regarding its use in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine?
In this country, in this nation, all right? And then the next scene, after the destruction, the next scene, it says, she sees a fearful sights of a supernatural character will soon be revealed in the heavens. Okay, so now we see the enemy of souls, Satan, will use this opportunity while people are fearful and afraid to manifest his spiritual demonic manifestation before the world. And we were told that he will come and personate Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. Okay, and also demons will personate dead loved ones before many people. So these are the patterns that we have to look for. Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna go to Revelation 13. Mm-hmm. Revelation 13 and verses 11 through 14, and my wife is gonna read these verses for us.
Okay, Revelation 13, 11 through 14. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live.
Amen. Okay, so we see in Revelation 13 that we see the second beast of Revelation 13, which is apostate Protestantism, which will be responsible for causing fire to come down from heaven. Now, the fire coming down from heaven in Revelation 13 is not the same fire, balls of fire that Ellen White was referring to. The balls of fire that she refers to is dealing with destruction. But the fire coming down from heaven in Revelation 13 is dealing with deception, spiritualism. So we see that he caused fire to come down from heaven to deceive men, to deceive those that dwell on the earth. And then the next thing that comes is let's make an image to the beast. So before the image of the beast, we must expect to see deception, spiritualism, right? Satan personating Jesus Christ, or a fearful sight of a supernatural that will soon be revealed in the heavens. Okay, so we see Revelation 13 is showing us the same pattern. But before all these false miracles that will come to pass, before then, we must have war. We must have destruction. Okay.
President Vladimir Putin was asked if he is worried that the world could be heading toward World War III in this situation. Here's what he said.
It is disturbing. I am speaking without any irony, without any jokes. Of course, there is a lot of conflict potential. It is growing, and it is right under our noses, and it affects us directly. And this requires, of course, not only our careful attention to the events taking place, but also the search for solutions. The search for solutions, preferably by peaceful means.
All right, very interesting. Let's bring in Fox News senior correspondent Benjamin Hall, host of American Exceptionalism, available on Fox Nation. Ben, always good to have you with us. You know, this statement by Putin builds upon a statement by his spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, who said, you know, don't even think about killing Khamenei, that would be opening Pandora's box, and that he believed there would be an outpouring of support for the Iranian regime. Your thoughts on where this stands, and Russia's bold talk, but not a lot of action on behalf of Iran.
Yeah, Martha, it's fascinating. We hadn't heard as much as we expected to from Russia until the last few days. But look, Russia is looking at one of its closest allies right now. Iran is part of that coalition between Russia, Iran, North Korea, and if Iran were to fall, and everyone's looking not just at the nuclear deal, but perhaps if it were to fall, that takes a big ally away from Russia, and they will do everything they can to try and shore them up. On top of that, we know that China is also really interested in having Iran on the table, and now we're seeing China planes flying into Iran, perhaps to pull people out, but also a real awareness of the 1.3 million barrels of oil a day that go from Iran to China. So you suddenly have this coalition of countries that have supported Iran who are pushing back against it. And of course, when Dmitry Peskov earlier said that, you know, if the Ayatollah was assassinated, then that would lead to severe consequences. They are thinking about Putin as well. They do not want to send a message that you can get rid of the leader of a country because you are at war with them, because of course that is Putin's own spokesman when he says that. So those countries looking really, really closely, and I think would do whatever they can to keep those to keep the Ayatollah in power.
Benjamin Hall, great coverage. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to continue here. The Bible also tells us that the fear of men bringeth a snare. So when those people are terrorized by the destruction, Satan is going to lead them to a snare. Okay? So we have to understand this. Now, my wife is going to read Revelation 17 verse 8.
Okay.
Revelation 17 verse 8.
The beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is.
Okay. So here in verse 17, we see that this beast that shall, the beast that was. Okay, we know this beast is referring to the Roman Catholic Church, the first beast of Revelation 13. That means it ruled the world for 1260 years. And then it says is not, That's when it received the deadly wound, 1798. And then it says, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So ascending is like coming up, but it's coming out of the bottomless pit or the abyss. Okay, Ellen White told us that Protestantism will stretch its arm over the gulf to hold hands with spiritualism. Number one, spiritualism, and then after spiritualism, then it's going to reach to the abyss. And who's in the abyss is the beast to ascend, cause the beast to be ascended from the bottomless pit, right? So Protestantism is what Satan will use. Apostate Protestantism is what Satan will use to cause spiritualism to deceive those that are on the earth and then exalt the papacy, okay? But the bottomless pit here, why is the bottomless pit? Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to read all the verses that tells you what the bottomless pit is, but you could write them down. If you read Ezekiel 26, verse 20, Job 33, verse 18, Psalms 30, verse 3, and also Psalms 55, verse 23. These verses will show you that the pit is dealing with destruction, chaos, bloodshed, war, all these things, all the above. So therefore, the Pope of Rome, the papacy, will be exalted, ascending from destruction, war, bloodshed, chaos, death, all these things. Okay, so Satan has to use war, fear, in order to lead men to a snare. Okay, we're going to go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 7 through 10.
Okay, and it reads, For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, and them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Amen. Okay, so we see that this wicked one is referring to the papacy, the Pope of Rome, the one that claims to be God and to be worshipped as God in the temple of God. Okay, in this passage here. But in order for this man of sin or the wicked one to be revealed, something must be taken out of the way. Okay, back then it was the deity or paganism. But now something is holding the papacy from being exalted before the world, but especially in America. And what's preventing this? It is the Constitution. Okay, and there's a quote I have here, but I don't have it with me, but I did read it in the series Order Out of Chaos. Okay, so, but verse 9 is very important. It says, even him. Okay, now who's the him here? It's referring to the wicked one, the man of sin, the Pope of Rome. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. You see, before he is revealed, he's going to be revealed by the workings of Satan, with all power in signs and lying wonders, spiritualism. So we see this is our third witness. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. Now we want to know who are the them that perish, that Satan is going to work through to make this happen. Now my wife is going to read Testimonies for the Church, volume 8, page 27.
Satan coming as Christ and working with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, and those who are binding themselves together in secret societies, those who are yielding to the passion for confederation, are working out the plans of the enemy. The cause will be followed by the effect.
Okay, so we see that Satan, before he comes in person to Jesus Christ, right? But before he comes, there must be destruction, balls of fire, missiles, destruction, fear. And then the snare comes after. So he will come as Christ, but he's going to work through them. And who are the them? Those that bind themselves together in secret societies. But Revelation 13 tells us it is apostate Protestantism that's going to cause fire to come down from heaven. Could it be many of the religious ministers, rulers, are part of this secret societies? Could it be possible? I believe yes. We have secret societies. You see, the enemy of souls have his agents in every aspect of life, in the educational system, in the food industry, in the medical industry, in the politics, in religion, churches, everywhere the enemy of souls has these individuals, those who bind themselves in secret societies in all aspects of life, okay, to prepare this false Christ to come. Just like Jesus Christ, before he came on earth the first time, John the Baptist, he was the one preparing the way, crying in the wilderness, preparing the way to make the crooked way straight for Christ to come. But Satan, he's a counterfeiter, so therefore he's going to have his agents to prepare the stage for him to come and personate Jesus Christ. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Ezekiel 8. Ezekiel 8, and my wife will read verses 8 through 14.
Okay, and it reads, Ezekiel 8, verse 8 through 14. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in, and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things, an abominable beast, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood, I don't know how to say that.
Jezaniah, the son of
Shaphan, which every man is censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me.
Okay, pause here. So we see here, Ezekiel went inside this room. He dig a hole through the wall, and he sees these men, 70 men. He sees that there's upon the wall being portrayed on the wall are abominable beasts, such as serpents, snakes, frogs, all kinds of creeping things. And then he sees there are 70 men, okay, the ancients of Israel, those who are the ancients, the elders, okay. And I did look the word ancient, the word ancient here. You could connect that to religious leaders, but also in the Strong Concordance, it also says Senate. So you have political. So you could see there are political figures in there and also religious leaders in there as well. Okay, and they are in this secrecy and darkness, worshiping demons, worshiping idols, and so on and so forth. Continue.
Verse 12. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man.
Pause here. You see what they do in the dark. That means in secrecy. You see, the Bible is showing you secret societies, what they do in the dark. Okay, there's a lot of worship going on. And remember, in secret societies, if you watch a video called Total Onslaught, the truth behind the secrets behind secret societies by Walter White, you will see that in secret societies, there's two groups. There's those who are in the inner circle, those who are the ones who know what they're doing. They're worshiping Satan directly. But you have those who are in the outer circle. They have no idea what's going on. They think they're just in a club, in a group, to do good cause for the society and the community and so on and so forth. But we're not dealing with those who don't know. The Bible is dealing with those who are in the inner core of the circle of the secret societies, those who know they're worshiping Satan and demons directly. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Every man in the chambers of his imagery, For they say, the Lord seeth us not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth.
Okay, you see, now they're in darkness, and the Bible tells us, God asked Ezekiel and says, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? So they're doing something in the dark in secrecy. Every man and the chamber of his imagery or idols. Okay, there's a lot of things going on, right? Sexual things, sacrificial things, right? And then they say that the Lord sees us not, the Lord has forsaken the earth. You see, they flatter themselves that God doesn't see them. God cannot see us, right? Okay, now go to Ezekiel 9 and verse 9.
Okay. Then said he unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, the Lord hath forsaken the earth, and the Lord seeth not.
Okay, those are the same individuals that were in the secret societies who were worshiping demons. Notice that they said the same phrase, the Lord sees us not, the Lord has forsaken the earth. But what happened in verse 9? There's bloodshed in the city, in the land, and there's perverseness in the cities. Could it be that those in the secret societies are the ones who are shaping societies, bringing perverseness such as homosexuality, transgenderism, and other vices that society is accepting, perverseness, pedophilia, all these things, right? Pornography, all these things, right? To set the stage up for Satan to come in person of Jesus Christ. And also blood in the land, bloodshed, war, chaos. Could it be they're responsible for these things? So the Bible is showing us that these same individuals, and God purposely put the same phrase in this text to show us who is doing all these things. Or those are the ones that were in darkness in the secret chambers, worshiping demons. And they said the same thing, God forsaken the earth, and the Lord sees us not. Okay, so we're going to continue before we close here. We have a few.
You want me to finish waiting for 10 minutes?
Oh, yes. We're going to go back to Ezekiel 8 now. Okay, after Ezekiel saw the second abominations of these ancient men worshiping demons and things that they're doing in the dark. So what it leads to when they do all these things, and my wife is going to read verse 13 and 14, what happens after.
He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat a woman weeping for Tammuz.
Okay, there sat women. Okay, that's plural. Okay, so what we see here, we see women weeping for Tammuz. Tammuz is a false Messiah, a false Christ. Okay, false Christ. So we see these women. Women in Bible prophecy represents church. So we see the churches are weeping for Tammuz. They are worshiping Tammuz. They are receiving Tammuz of false Christ, thinking that it's Jesus Christ, but it's Satan pursuing Jesus. But what happened before? We've seen those in secret societies. They are the ones who are the cause of this. Okay, so after we see what the 70 men, the ancients of Israel, what they've done in the dark, then it leads to the churches accepting and receiving Tammuz of the false Christ. Okay, so my wife is going to read the last passage before we close here. We're going to go back to Revelation 13 to 16.
Okay. All right. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the beast, worship the image of the beast, should be killed.
Okay, pause here. Okay. It says here, and cause that as, remember, after the fire come down from heaven, but before the fire come down from heaven, there will be destruction, war, and then false miracles, spiritualism, right? Fire come down from heaven. And after that, then the people are urged to make an image to the beast, the union between church and state, right? And then it says here, and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to keep our finger there and jump to verse 4 of Revelation 13. Okay, verse 4.
Okay.
What does it mean to worship the image of the beast? Let's read that.
And they worshiped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Okay, you see, power has to be given to the beast. And then, what does it say?
And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Okay, so power has to be given to the beast, and then the people will say, who can, the people will worship the beast. Why? Because the beast received power.
Right.
But who gave the power? Satan. Now, who's the beast? The papacy. But remember, Satan will give power to the papacy or exalt the papacy before the world to spiritualism, and then the people will worship the beast as a result. You see, the papacy has to be ascend from the bottomless pit. Protestantism will be the one causing the world to worship the beast. Why? Because power or spiritualism will be given to the beast, and then the world will worship the beast. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. Well, you can read the last verse, which is 16.
Okay. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
Okay, amen. So, brethren, the burden is in my heart. I've been talking about the same thing over and over. War will take place, spiritualism after, and then let's make an image to the beast, church and state, and then the Sunday law. Okay, which leads to the Sunday law ultimately. Okay, so we have to be ready. We do not want to be those who will be amazed or wonder after the beast because of spiritualism. Why would the world wonder after the beast? How come they don't do it today? Yes, we know the Pope of Rome is popular and famous, but that's not what the Bible is referring to. When the world wondered after the beast, it is because of spiritualism. And people will be amazed. They will think that this is Jesus Christ. This is Jesus Christ who's endorsing Catholicism, and therefore we must follow Catholicism. And this is how the whole world will be converted to Catholicism, I believe, not by name, but by experience. All right, so we'll stop here, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you, and God bless.
Yeah, thank you, and God bless.